Dossier is a brand that makes their own versions of more popular niche and designer fragrances, and they try to sell these fragrances for a really inexpensive price tag. That's certainly the case with today's fragrance. This one is called Woody Vetiver by Dossier. I'm excited to give you my thoughts on this fragrance, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin this video and I tell you all about Woody Vetiver by Dossier, what it smells like, what fragrance it's supposed to be an inspiration of, the performance, so on and so forth, I do want to start things off by mentioning that if you are a fan of fragrance-related content, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it. Make sure to hit the bell icon so you can stay notified on future uploads, and that includes giveaways, top 10 videos, reviews of brand new fragrances, and more. And also give this video a thumbs up if you take something of value from today's episode. Now, here is an inexpensive fragrance from Dossier. It's called Woody Vetiver, and this is actually their inspiration of a Frederic Malle fragrance, and that brand happens to be very expensive. That fragrance is called Vetiver Extraordinaire, and that is a beautiful vetiver fragrance. I tried it at a boutique in Soho in Manhattan several years ago when they actually carried the line, and this one has pink pepper, bergamot, bitter orange, of course the namesake of the perfume, which is vetiver, cedarwood, myrrh, sandalwood, musk, and oak moss. So, and the concentration is 18%, which is almost an eau de parfum. You know, eau de parfum is somewhere between 20 and 25%. So this one is strongly concentrated. I've noticed that some other Dossier fragrances could be like 14% concentration. So this one is actually on the stronger side of things. Now, in terms of vetiver, it's a very unique ingredient in the sense that sometimes it can smell squeaky clean and citrusy and a little grassy because vetiver is a type of grass. But there are other times where it smells rather dark and brooding, mysterious, and I think the latter is kind of what we're dealing with here. So I'm excited to give you my comprehensive thoughts on the smell and performance and all that good stuff. Let's start things off with the presentation. As soon as I sprayed this fragrance on the test strip, I was quite surprised because there was like a touch of sweetness to it, and there's nothing sweet listed in the note breakdown. The only thing that I can possibly be thinking of is the sandalwood, because sandalwood has a smooth, creamy, sweet kind of a vibe, and I was getting a little bit of that in the opening, so immediately I was like, uh-oh, there's definitely a nice bit of sandalwood in here, and there is. I think sandalwood is a main player in this fragrance, but of course I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the namesake of the perfume, which in this case is vetiver. So vetiver is the name of the game here, and like I said before, you have clean vetivers, you have dirty vetivers. Now, not dirty as in unclean, but as in earthy and soily, and that's the vibe that you're going to get with this one, minus the soil. So it has this earthy, rooty sort of a texture about it, and it smells very dark, brooding, mysterious, and I think that's the reason why some people have made comparisons to Lalique's Encre Noir. So I was looking online, some people said they think it smells like Encre Noir. So this one is actually much brighter than Encre Noir. That is a really dark vetiver for a pretty good price as well, but this one actually takes things in a much brighter, much fresher direction, and I think that's on account of the bergamot and the citrus. But you know, there's pink pepper in here, and that can kind of give off the smell of rose a little bit, so I think that that's certainly combining with the myrrh and the cedarwood in the heart. And in terms of the myrrh, here's another thing that I was quite unsure of, because you have bitter myrrh, which actually smells rubbery and leathery, but you have sweet myrrh as well, which is also known as a Popinax. And the more I smell this one, the more I'm inclined to think that it's the sweet variety that is found in this fragrance, as well as in the original, of course. So this one actually does smell kind of on the sweet side, but not sweet in the typical conventional way where, you know, a fragrance contains vanilla or tonka bean. It's not that. It's a very sort of luxurious, refined, very subtle and nuanced kind of a sweetness that is coming from the myrrh and the sandalwood. But vetiver is still the name of the game, so to speak, and it's a very clean vetiver. And I think the cleanliness of the vetiver is certainly accented by the citrus top notes that create this really like bright and zesty introduction that keep the freshness alive for many hours into the dry down because of the clean nature or attitude of the vetiver. Now, in terms of the base ingredients, you also have musk and oak moss. I think the oak moss is a really nice complement to the vetiver because they're both green notes, and the oak moss is just accenting that verdant quality while also adding a few hours of longevity. So this is the type of fragrance, on account of the vetiver and the oak moss, it smells very clean, very well groomed, and very smart, right? So this is the type of scent that I would personally love to wear to the office. If you're looking for something dressed up, maybe you're a fan of fragrances like Terre d'Hermès by Hermès, or you're a fan of fragrances like Original Vetiver by Creed, and you want something with a little bit more daring touch, something that's a little bit darker but not super dark like a Chanel Sycamore, I think this is a very nice middle of the road fragrance. So here's the thing, in terms of comparing it to Frederic Malle's Vetiver Extraordinaire, I'm gonna be honest, it's been a number of years since I've tried Vetiver Extraordinaire. I remember really liking it. I didn't spend so much time with it that, you know, smelling this one will jog memories in my mind or anything like that. But if their track record or the history of fragrances that I've tried from Dossier is any indication as to the accuracy of this clone, then I would venture to say it's pretty accurate, because it does smell of quality. You know, you have some fragrances out there that smell very cheap and inexpensive. And one thing that I've noticed with their fragrances, whether that be their inspiration of Pear and Freesia by Jo Malone or their inspiration of Baccarat Rouge 540, they do actually smell very close to the real thing. Their Aventus clone as well was very impressive. So this one I would say is also very close to the real thing, but with the caveat that I haven't smelled the real thing in several years. But this is the real thing too, you know, you're dealing with an actual fragrance that smells good, that is inexpensive, high concentration, and I'm really enjoying this one. I think it's a solid fragrance that I can personally see myself wearing to work, because I am around a lot of other people, and I don't think it has any components in here that are totally daring or avant-garde or different. You know, like I said, it's not like a Chanel Sycamore where it's probably a little bit too heavy-handed on the vetiver. It's not like a Lorenzo Villoresi vetiver. That one is like even much darker. So this one is kind of middle of the road, very safe, but it also has this unique extroverted personality about it that I really like. I think it's a solid fragrance, and smelling this one again also makes me want to revisit the original. So I'll see if I can purchase that very soon, because I do love Frederic Malle, Bigarade Concentré, Musc Ravageur. I own several fragrances from Frederic Malle, so it's about time I added a new one. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. Now first, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, well, given the fact that this is a clone, it's certainly not unique, right? But the overall smell is very pleasant. Of course, there are some very dark, you know, challenging niche fragrances out there. This is a recreation of one that is not so dark and challenging. So this is a DNA that's going to appeal to a lot of people, and it does come across smelling very elegant and professional. Longevity on this one is about 7 hours, and the projection was great for the first 45 minutes of application. It radiated at about an arm's length distance. It didn't start to sit closer to the skin until about that 4.5 to 5 hour mark. At the 6 hour mark, it kind of became a skin scent. 7 hours later, you can apply a new fragrance or you can reapply this one. Versatility on this one is very good. I see this one working well in every season except for the winter, especially the springtime, because of the moss and the vetiver and the citrus, and a lot of these ingredients are evocative of the springtime. I do think that this one is perfectly unisex, although there may be some traditionalists out there who will argue that this one leans masculine, but in my opinion, it's totally unisex. This one is definitely a dressed up, suit and tie, elegant dress to impress kind of a scent, and I think this one will appeal to anybody of any age. It's not a dark vetiver that will only appeal to somebody who's older. There's a nice level of freshness in here that'll cater to more youthful sentiments as well. In terms of the presentation, very minimalist, but of course it keeps the costs down. My final verdict on this fragrance is, if you are a fan of the original, after which this one is fashioned, if you're a fan of vetiver fragrances, if you're looking for an inexpensive fragrance that smells professional and that can be worn to the office. This one is awesome. Check out Woody Vetiver, and they have a really cool program where they also send you a little sample with your purchase. You use the sample. If by the time that you're done using the sample you don't like the fragrance, you can return it, no questions asked. Their customer service is actually really, really good. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me today. That was my review of Woody Vetiver by Dossier. If you own or have tried this fragrance or any other fragrance from the brand, leave a comment down below. Let me know what's your favorite. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please support the channel by subscribing to it. It's absolutely free and it would mean the world to me. Hit the bell so that you can stay notified on future uploads, and give this video a thumbs up if you learned something today or if you took something of value from today's episode. Thanks for watching. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.